welcome back to a little horror on a hump day. So today I am super stoked. Why? Because I'm finally covering a movie that was recommended me to watch, say, over a year ago, and it was pretty damn good. As well as a newer one that I literally didn't hear about until I physically put it on my TV. So let's get started. Before anything, my dudes, if you're subscribed, I just want to say thank you so much. And if you're not, do it. Be a part of the fam, and don't be shy to click those notifications so you won't miss any new videos coming out and or any sort of live streams. All right, so let's get to it. First up, I'm going to be talking about this movie that I found, and it's called Mr.Crocket. Yeah, so it's streaming on Hulu and or Disney, and it's all about this dude who is like, he's Mr. Rogers, okay? So imagine your classic Mr. Rogers on TV. And what happens is kids watch this show, and kids are all of a sudden going missing. This Mr. Rogers show, dude, is like haunted. And what he's doing is collecting kids whose parents seem to not want them anymore. Pretty solid concept, right? And they do it in such a good way. Like, one, it's filmed very well. Two, like, you just get this sense of like, oh my goodness, you can tell where these parents are coming from, you know, like dealing with their kids. It really sort of follows this lady's story who her husband just passed away. Her son is obviously having a rough time dealing with it and just being rambunctious around the house. And she is like, oh, I can't. So there's this like one moment, I think it's like the same day as like the funeral, like the wake where like people are over. And the kid kind of goes out onto the porch, and this woman who seems a bit loco, you know, she seems a bit crazy, starts telling him, you know, like, don't leave, don't do this, and starts talking to the mom and kind of like going off to her, like, you don't want to lose him. And she's like, what the hell is this lady talking about? Lo and behold, this woman's son got taken years ago. So there's this whole lore behind it. Who the hell's taking the kids in the neighborhood, and why are they all, you know, getting taken from parents who maybe didn't have the time or patience for them. The imagery is so good. As somebody who's always found, like, Chuck E. Cheese is super neat, but, like, there's something so scary about mascots, about clowns, about these sort of childish things, you know? Anyways, so this movie takes that element and literally flips it on its head. And you get to see Mr. Crocket, like, basically wreaking like revenge on some of these parents, and obviously, you know, trying to like protect these kids, but is he really protecting them? Anyways, you gotta watch it, give it a shot, because one, I think it deserves it. Two, I've never heard once about this film. I'd like to know if you guys heard about this, because I always find that super interesting. Like, is it just, I don't know, is it just my algorithm that isn't getting some of these horror movies? Because I literally just stumbled on this one while going through Disney. I haven't heard anybody else speak about it. So curious to hear your thoughts if you guys got to see it, or even like if it hit your theaters. I don't think it hit mine. Anyways, evil Mr. Rogers stealing kids. Yeah. Go watch it. Let me know your thoughts. Now, on another note, little side note, there's not many films that like touch that aspect. So I highly suggest, if you do like that sort of theme, hit up Channel Zero, okay? There's not much talk about Channel Zero. I mean, it did come out a little while ago, and it was like a Shudder original series. They had a couple of them, but it was called Kendall Cove, and you probably would have seen this like demon who's part of it. And it's like all teeth all over him. Anyways, a big part of it is like this kid's channel that comes on and sort of mesmerizes kids and like pulls them in. Anyways, you gotta see it. Similar type vibe, but yeah, anyways, Channel Zero is just like a whole nother level. Okay, I'm gonna stop ranting. You ready for this? So it is recommendation time. Whose am I talking about this week? You ready for this? Huge shout out to Vincent Demers 6066, my bad, from YouTube. You told me to watch the movie The Tunnel from 2011. This is an Australian found footage film. That creeped me out. Yeah, so solid choice. This is a really great movie. And Vincent had basically shouted this one out after I spoke about the movie The Creep. The Creep was a movie about this weird thing living in like the subway station. Similar vibe, but not. This plays as a documentary style found footage. So I found that really refreshing because sometimes found footages, it's like literally you with their camera the whole time. You're like watching like a mini DV tape of sorts, you know? Whereas this one, it's like, oh, here are the documenters being documented. I think the best way to describe it, a bit like Fourth Kind, you know, where it's like you are seeing documentary stuff, but you're also seeing the handheld stuff. Anyways, so you have this group that are journalists, and they're like, look, we're gonna pry into what's going on in Australia. What's happening? There's apparently waterways underneath in these subways that they want to start a huge water recycling project on, but it keeps getting stopped. For some reason, the government doesn't want to go forward with it. And they're just saying it's abandoned down there, but these people are like convinced there's something living down there and or some things and or just maybe, I don't know, a bunch of chuds sort of thing, okay? So this movie, you basically, I think there are 3 or 4 of them that go down into the tunnels and they document what they quote unquote find. And it's pretty scary. Classic found footage is though, you gotta sit there and you gotta pay attention, right? Because a lot of the time it's either like, ooh, you hear something creepy, you see something creepy, it happens fast. There is like this sort of demon-ish character in this, and you only get like short glimpses of him. But overall, this was a film where like you're done and you're like, I'm gonna Google this. Is this real? Did this happen? Like literally had me super intrigued. So I just gotta say, again, Vincent Demers, awesome choice of film. You guys should definitely go see this movie, The Tunnel. It's actually streaming right now on, I think it was Amazon Prime. Thank you guys so much again for watching. And guys, you have a wicked rest of your week and we'll be seeing you soon. Bye.